So, welcome back. Today I'm gonna talk about why I think that Yoshimitsu is very difficult to play and why he's harder than a lot of the cast and why I think the reputation that Yoshimitsu gets is not on point. Like, people see him as a gimmicky, easy to rank up, like Xiao Yu or Lei kind of character, which he really isn't. Like, he doesn't have the frames like those characters, and he doesn't have the mix-up like those characters have. This video is kind of in a reference to the main man's video, because I saw how he explained that Jin is very difficult, why I thought, what the fuck, man, Jin has so many good tools, how can you say that he's difficult compared to a character like Yoshimitsu? Maybe I just want to tell myself that I need to work more for my victories. Which isn't true, because if you play someone who is unfamiliar with this character, of course you get away with a lot of shit. But I'm telling you, the people that I play are familiar with this character and they shit on me. Like, they make it very difficult, which is good for me, but kinda, yeah, stressful sometimes. So today I'm just gonna go over his strengths and his weaknesses and why I think it is very hard to play this character. This character doesn't have this easy, like, bread and butter way to get his damage in. Like, the best things he got are the tsunami kicks and down 2-2, which is a mid-mid string and it's hit confirmable. And the first thing that comes to mind is really his tsunami kicks, his 3-4. And I'm gonna show you now the things I like to do after this move, and really, like, what you have to do to avoid it. So this is the first one, right? It's a very common one, and if you do something slower than a jab, of course it will, like, launch you in the air. And if you do something like a jab, he can Kicho parry it. But what happens if he just sidesteps? Okay, I got hit. But if I sidestep on the correct time and not like this, I can just beat this option out very easy and launch him for it. So I don't have to worry about that. Let's try. Works the same at the Kicho parry. When I do the Kicho parry. Now let's try flash. And you are guessing right what is gonna happen, because the same thing is gonna happen. He's gonna get launched. So all I have to do is sidestepping, like one time. And if he starts trying to, when I do that, he actually has to do this or like this to make me stop doing that. And I'm gonna show you that that's really a very, very slow thing. And if I get him to do this, then yeah, the mix-up is very, very bad for him. Like, really, really bad. And I really got the best moves out of this dance and the normally used stuff out of his mind. The only really thing that you have to be aware of is flash, really. Flash in all the situations. Like, I started to use flash when I whiff something. When people attempt to whiff punish me, get launched. And it really works online, but I think offline this is not as valid as it is online. Of course, he has some very, like, good tools, like sidestep 1, a safe mid counter hit launcher. He has down crouch dash 2, which is very underrated because it is -14, and people oftentimes don't use it as much, but it actually crushes highs very consistently. Like, for instance, if you get wild standing 4 blocked and you do this and they try to retaliate with jabs, they're oftentimes gonna get beaten by the crouch dash 2, which is, I started using that now. And wait a sec. Of course it doesn't work now. Like this. And usually you can get your counter hit if you want to. So this is something new, I thought. He has these tools, but this is launch punishable for Brian if he's sharp. And at least you're gonna get a jab punish. And the other moves, like Fubuki, the other good moves, all have downsides. They all put Yoshimitsu in a mix-up situation where the risk is against him. Like, this move is on paper one of the best moves that Yoshimitsu has, Fubuki Ni. And of course, you have a lot of options which are quite good, right? Sorry that I have to record it now, but I couldn't record all the things immediately. So, of course, this is a very good move. It's a mid-launcher, but a lot of times people forget that in this game and in the games before, you have more options. Like, see, this is the spin, of course, is tracked down by homing. Or the turnaround gives you a free, I think, 13 frame nit. I think like this. And if he turns around immediately, you get a jab. And now you think, okay, but he has the spin, right? But you don't have to do the homing. You can just step with him, which is kind of awkward now because I'm Brian and I have a sidestep 1. But you can just do it like this. And if you time it correctly, it is actually not a mix-up because jabs will beat most of the options. What I'm trying to say here is that the Yoshimitsu always has to take risk to avoid punishment, which other characters don't have to. And people oftentimes get very frustrated because they don't actually know the frames and get trapped by flash or things like ducking after Roo kick. Because they actually think it's lodge punishable because it looks like a Matterhorn. But that's not a strength of Yoshimitsu. That's just unfamiliar players, like player unfamiliarity, I don't know, with Yoshimitsu. That doesn't make the character any better. The most options that he has leave him at -9, where you can't even use flash. And really, I play a lot against people who are familiar with Yoshimitsu. And if you just sidestep instead of immediately attacking, most of his flash setups are just bad. And they're very, very risky if someone expects it, is expecting it. Then really it's no effort to heavily punish him for doing so. And there are a lot of scenarios like that. And one thing that you always have to point out with Yoshimitsu is that, first of all, he doesn't have a good throw game. And he doesn't have a lot of instances where he can throw and be in a situation where a throw is unavoidable. Okay, now he has down 2-2, which is a good setup. I'm not gonna lie. But he just has the mix-up between the rainbow drop, which is a 1+2 break, and the 2 normal throws. And of course this. But, I mean, this throw is shitty as fuck. And you should never get hit by this throw because the animation is so awkward. Everyone knows that. It's a 2 break. It will be always a 2 break. So, what the fuck? And so, with lackluster lows like Yoshimitsu and this throw game, you don't really need to duck him. If you can space it out, this low is never gonna hit you because it has very shitty range. I think there is even I think you can, even if he's plus backdash. Oh shit, wait, backdash it, right? Okay, I'm on the left, so I should change sides because I cannot backdash on this side with the with sway characters. I have to be on the other side. But this low has literally no range. This low is if you do the 4, it's not launch punishable, but you can just low parry the second hitman. If you just block the first one, you can low parry the second one, and that's about it. And I think there's even a way, I have to check that though, because I'm not actually sure if that works in this game. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit unprepared. There was a way, if I remember correctly, if I'm on the right side, where you can just step the... Nope. I think I cannot step it on player 1, actually. Yeah, see. You can just step the follow-up if you're sharp. If you're fucking sharp, man. And you can just launch him for it. But it is difficult to note. What I'm trying to say, that all his lows are risky. This one is very seeable. So if the opponent doesn't get hit by this, you only have this low, which staggers. So yeah, it's nothing too crazy. We talk, of course, about sword stance. And no sword stance, this of course changes. Then his mix-up is actually very scary. That's why most people, most good players, go into no sword stance as fast as they can. So, versus Yoshimitsu, you just have to be patient and wait for him to kill himself. Because his counter-hit moves in this game are actually very damaging. And, of course, all the setups are very damaging too. And if you get counter-hits with him, you are like in heaven. You get highly rewarded. But if they just play normal Tekken, they don't overextend all the time. If they have the life lead, they turtle up. Then with Yoshimitsu, you're gonna have a very, very hard time to like come back from this. And if you get a Yoshimitsu player very desperate, they will start using extremely gimmicky stuff that is very risky and will very fast get them killed if you just have your eyes open and yeah, like watch out for the gimmicky stuff. And of course it changes a little bit if he's in no sword stance, because this jump, for instance, and he has a a lot of extensions that he doesn't have. Usually he has better lows in this stance. His flash is even more scary, and I get that, but even then his lows are still risky as fuck. I mean, okay, they're more rewarding, but most online Yoshimitsu players are just gonna spam this. And every time when a move leaves them in crouch like this, you should be aware, okay, the sweep is coming. Yeah, and if you follow the rules, like just be patient and be aware of how to punish his move. Don't let him get away with stuff like, yeah, like for instance, crouch dash 1 or something. Just know your punishment, and he's like any other character, he's gonna kill himself. But Yoshimitsu even more, because yeah, he's a scrub. He's a very self-destructive character. And yeah, I'm not saying that Yoshimitsu is harder than anyone in the cast, or like that everyone who can rank up with Yoshimitsu understands Tekken in a deeper way than someone who plays legit Tekken. But in my opinion, Yoshimitsu is on high level if you play against an opponent. And I promise you, if you start going to like purple ranks or something, not purple ranks because they're inflated now, since the new ranked ruling made people who are Genbus to mighty rulers like myself, and people who are like Raijins or something are normal rulers. But what I wanted to say, if you're gonna see someone just playing patient or knowing the matchup, you're gonna find yourself in a very tough spot with Yoshimitsu. And I think Yoshimitsu players should get more respect for playing the character, because he really, he needs your like hard blood. You just sit there when other people, oh yeah, I'm gonna start work on my backdash and I'm just gonna work on my spacing. You're gonna sit there and you're gonna try to find out these very awkward situations where you can implement this fucking piece of shit of a move and try to find a place where you can like put this move, a situation where you can put your opponent in. How can I use flash to its fullest potential? I have a video where I will cover how to use flash outside of counter hit, of course, for punishment, but I will do that later. And you're really gonna be frustrated when you reach higher ranks and see that this character really, he takes your heart and soul. But man, it is so fun to play him. And yeah, I hope this video was kind of informative, and I hope someone learned something. I know I went over a lot of different things because I just made this video up off the cuff, and I just yeah, thought that maybe someone is interested why I think this character is more difficult than people give it respect, give him respect. Oh man, my taunt game got very bad actually. Yeah, I hope this video was informative, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye. Ah, finally. I'm a screw up.